Welcome to another midnight. Jesus. Welcome to Midnight Movies, guys. We just saw in theaters the brand
Never-ending story.
the brand new blockbuster just came out. Never-ending story. Okay, so Never-ending story is obviously an old movie. When did it come out? Anyways, in the Wikipedia.
1984.
That's before my time. Fuck.
Yep. So it's super old.
So, Never-ending story is definitely a movie that, especially 80s kids, but also some 90s kids will quote a whole bunch, even though it's actually not that great of a movie. But I'm sure if you've been watching this series all the way through, you've noticed that there are this theater of ours occasionally will play an old movie. When it has nothing else to play, they'll just throw an old movie on there.
Well,
and people can come watch it.
They just started doing was they just started playing old movies. Like in one of their theaters, it's just an old movie.
Yeah.
I think that's just been like a regular thing for a while
It's
now.
been about a year now since they started doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We missed the Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace.
I don't fucking care.
I'd see that in theater again.
Hashtag Star Wars was always bad. No, I don't care.
Okay, so we decided to go see the Never-ending Story
Because I hadn't seen it before.
You hadn't seen it all the way through.
Nope.
You had seen like bits and pieces of it, right?
I saw the furry dragon and one of the kids riding around on it, and I don't remember which one, and that's all I remember. That's all I remember.
Okay, so I think the reason. Okay, I know people love this movie. It's not that great. It's not that great. But I think people really, really love it because, one, they saw it when they were kids. Two, because it had really good effects.
Oh my god.
Really good effects.
Okay, listen, the special effects aren't ever gonna hold up, but the designs, the set designs, and the costumes, honestly, still hold up.
All the fantasy creatures, yeah.
They were so cool. They were so cool.
And then 3, because I think this is probably most people's, who are millennials, I guess, most of their first ever encounters with a meta-narrative, where there's a story happening outside the story, and then the two stories intersect and meet. Yep. And so here's the thing. When we were talking before the movie started, I said this was funny enough, it was an isekai, right? However, I think it's the sequel that's like a full isekai, because
this one was not. I was waiting.
Yeah. So because the main guy doesn't join the other world to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He stays in the real world the whole movie.
Yes.
Okay, so the real world story is you have this kid in the 80s, and his mom just died, and his dad doesn't seem to care that much. He's kind of neglected. He's getting bullied at school. He's failing at school. Everything's looking down for this kid. Mm-hmm. And running away from bullies, he goes into
a bookshop.
And this is something that you saw a lot in 80s films, where there was just a reclusive old bookkeeper.
Like with Gremlins?
Yeah. Or also if you're in Chinatown, you go into a side shop and there's an old Chinese man who's like, well, I have this ancient artifact from China. Big Trouble Little China kind of stuff. Stuff like that, right? You in some chance encounter brings you into a small nook in the city somewhere where there's hidden magical artifacts. It's a pretty common story. It's also a really fun story. I like that kind of story. Also, I just realized, you never see that old guy again.
Nope.
What was his deal?
He had the book.
He had the book, and then the kid stole it, and then that was it?
Yeah. This movie is not based on logic.
So the kid reveals he's an avid reader, and the old man is like, well, this book isn't for you. This isn't for kids. And then the phone rings, and he goes up and then the kid steals the book. And the book is Never-ending Story.
He left a note, though.
The note says, I'll bring back the book, I promise. And the note says, The Never-ending Story. Mm-hmm. The book is called The Never-ending Story. And then he breaks into the school's attic to get away from everyone. No,
he does it because he doesn't want to take a math test.
Yeah. And also, he's late for class, and it's gonna suck, and
Well, listen, it's the bully's fault for putting him in a giant industrial garbage can.
It's so funny, they just, throw him in a dumpster. It's give us money, and they just throw him in there. It's Jesus. So
in broad daylight, in front of other people. That was ridiculous.
So, it seems like the stuff at the school was just filmed at a school.
Yeah.
But like when he goes up to the attic, it's this really intricate set of like ancient. It looks like chemistry equipment, and then like drama props, and like desks are up there and stuff, and it's all cobwebbed over, and it's this huge attic set. Like it's like as big as a gymnasium, frankly, up there.
It's pretty it was that big. I think it was big, but I don't think it was that big.
Okay.
Well, it's like the size of like a big living room.
Yeah. So he's up there, and he starts reading the Neverending Story. And in fact, it cuts back to him occasionally, and actually he spends like a full day up there. Like, there's a part like halfway through the movie where like the bell rings and all the kids go home, and he's like, I'm just gonna go back upstairs because no one's found me yet. So he goes back upstairs. He just keeps reading, and then like the climax of the movie happens in the middle of the night in the real world. Yeah. And then by the next morning, when he's like when he summoned the dragon into the real world, he's like flying around. It's the next morning. It's like you just spent like 24 hours reading this book, dude.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, when you get into a really good book and you just can't put it down, you just keep going one last page. Yeah. And then the book is done and it's 5 a.m. We've all been there, right, guys? Not just me.
I'm gonna speed run the story in like 2 minutes.
I believe that you can do it in less than a minute.
Okay,
go.
It's such an easy story. Okay,
go.
So the actual story inside the book, the Neverending Story, the story is that there's a bunch of creatures who are traveling to the Empress's palace, which is the White Tower, and they're all going because they've all been summoned there because the entire world's falling apart, the world of Fantasia. There's something called the Nothing that's consuming everything. It's like emptiness. It's like just coming in and like, it's basically the Pale from Disco Elysium, if you know what that is. But basically, it's like this emptiness, nothingness. Like it's not even like space. It's just like it's like the absence of everything, just kind of coming in.
That's what nothing is.
Yeah, but
you're wasting time in explaining the explanation of what nothing is.
What I mean is, it's not like you go out to like a nothified area and it's just like a desert. No. It's just like an absence of anything.
Yes, they explain that in the movie.
Yep. So. What, like I'm explaining right now in the movie?
Badly.
Part of the movie?
Badly.
Fuck you. Okay, so they all go to the Empress's palace, and then there's like the vizier or whatever. He's like, sorry, the Empress is sick. We're all fucked. However, there's one hope. And then like a guy shows up, and the guy's a kid. And this is Atreyu. And he's like, we've summoned Atreyu, and he's the great warrior who will save us. And then like, he's like, listen, you can't have any friends in the journey. He makes friends. You can't bring your weapons along. Weapons would be nice, because there's no reason why you can't bring them along, but you can't. So he leaves the weapons behind. And then he gives them, like, the symbol of the Empress to say that he speaks for her. So he goes off on this journey with his horse, who's already a friend. He travels around, and they skip over, like, 3, like, areas he traveled to. They just skip them. And then they get to the Swamp of Sadness. And this is where the very, very famous scene of the horse sinking into the muck, because the horse gets sad. He's just like, I'm sad now. Just...
Okay. So I've definitely read many, like, just comments on the internet about, even as an adult, I was so sad when Artax died. Artax died. And I cry every time, just like, and like, that was such a weird fucking scene.
It wasn't a very well done scene.
Like, I am mostly concerned for how the horse looked. Like, the horse itself looked like it was in physical pain. Yeah, like... Which is not good for a movie animal.
Yeah. So the horse, like, outside of the context of the movie, like, they had, like, a real horse doing these stunts and this stuff. And someone was tugging on the bridle off screen. And, like, the horse just looked very uncomfortable.
Yeah, like...
Stop tugging me.
Like, I could... Like, the entire time I was thinking, I'm like, oh, man, poor horse, Jesus. You know? And then freaking Atreyu, like, turning on a dime, being like, Artax, like, why aren't you coming? Oh, is it too hard, huh? And then he suddenly sees Artax singing and just starts fucking screaming.
Like no, Artax, don't do it, no!
And I was just so taken aback, and I was just like, what? What just happened?
So then he goes to see a giant turtle. And the turtle's, like, very old and also living in the Swamp of Sadness, so the turtle doesn't give a shit about anything. He's like, yeah, whatever, everything's gonna die, it's fine.
You mean they don't give a shit about anything?
Why?
Because the turtle talked to itself and it kept calling itself we.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's non-binary turtle, 1984 movie, got it. But, wait, this movie's, like, actually 40 years old. I wonder if it's playing right now, because this is the anniversary. Whoa. Wait, when did it come out?
1984.
No, the date.
I don't fucking know.
You have it up on your phone for a reason, woman.
Let's say. Bum, bum, bum,
You'll definitely say.
July 20th. It's not the 20th. Release dates: April 6th, West Germany. July 20th, USA.
Okay, but like it's...
Today is July 9th.
Yeah, but like it's in the ballpark.
Sure.
I'm sure that's why it's out. I'm sure that's why it's here. 40-year anniversary.
Sure.
Anyway. He meets the turtle, and there's like a wise turtle who can give him some advice, and he's like, the turtle's like, I don't care, but if you want to go 10,000 miles south to the Oracle. And he's like, fuck, dude. That's so fucking far.
Listen, if this wasn't a rated E for everyone movie, that definitely would have just been like, oh, fuck. That would have been a no fuck moment.
So he almost dies sinking into the swamp, but then, like, this fuzzy dragon picks him up. What was his name again?
They yelled so much.
They yelled Falcor?
Falcor, yeah, because my brain kept trying to say Falco, and I was like, nope.
No, it's not Star Fox, no. Falcor picks him up, and then they land on a peak that's, like, really close to the Oracle. And there's, like, these two, what, you call them gnomes?
Yeah, I called them gnomes. I don't know what they actually are, but they're gnomes.
Yeah, there's, like, two old people, and they're like, have some potions to heal up. And then, like, the other guy is, he's a scientist of the Oracle, so he's, like, watching the Oracle and, like, documenting and gives him some tips. And then to get to the Oracle, there's, like, a gate, and the gate is... Why are you shaking the car? Jesus. I'll do it, too.
Stop.
Oh.
Jesus.
Well, there you go. So, the Oracle, there's a gate for the Oracle, and it's like, listen, you have to... What was the trial again?
Be brave.
Be humble.
We don't know. The way they made it sound with the dialogue, it sounded like you were supposed to be humble, but then everyone was like, "No, be confident," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
I was too focused on the nipples.
Yeah, there was nipples on the statues that were guarding the gate.
I got distracted.
And I was like, "Dude, this is a kids movie."
Nipples is good.
Nipples in a kids movie is fine back in the 80s.
Well, listen, they were on a statue. They weren't real nipples.
I guarantee you, there was some kid who was like jacking off.
Oh yeah, probably.
Pausing it on their VHS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being like only stimulation.
Yeah. So, he makes it through, but he has to like run because the statue's like, nope, you didn't fool us, and then like zap him, but he runs in, he like dodges the zap. The second trial is in like a snowy area, and he has to like look at a mirror, and he's like, you have to face your true self. And he looks into it, and he sees the kid in the real world reading the book.
Yeah, that didn't make any fucking sense.
Well, no, the point is that Atreus is supposed to be the kid.
Oh, right, because it's a self-insert.
It's a self-insert, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't do that, guys.
So he sees the kid reading the book in the real world in the mirror, and he's like, what? And then like the kid in the real world is reading this fucking book describing him looking into he's like, what? And so at the end the oracles is very clearly just like a reuse of the statues just turned blue. But the oracles are like, okay, listen, here's how you fix everything. You have to rename the Empress. And the name has to be given from a human child outside of Fantasia.
And no one in Fantasia is allowed to do it.
And he's like, okay, how do I leave Fantasia? And the oracles are like, I don't know, but we're dying, so...
Figure it out!
Yeah, so he like runs away. Everything starts collapsing, and he manages to like hitch a ride on the dragon. The dragon's like, listen, we're just gonna fly right to the ends of the earth, and so they fly off. And then they reach. They go as far as they can. They reach the nothing. The nothing like just throws Atreyu off, and then he ends up like in a ruin. And in this ruin, there's like this black wolf, and this is a black wolf who's been like chasing him through the entire movie, just like hot on his heels. And this wolf is like, now I will dump the entire lore of the story in the final 5 minutes of the movie.
I will say that, like, out of all, like, the really, kind of, like, semi-bad tropes of, like, older movies, that's one I will forever enjoy. Just, the villain has all the answers.
Yeah.
The villain has all the answers, always knows more than a hero does, and then the hero has to listen to their monologue because they actually need the information.
Yeah.
My favorite terrible trope.
The wolf is basically like, it turns out that our world is just the amalgamation of all human imagination from the real world. And people are starting to read books less and use their imaginations less, so our world is falling apart. And because I'm evil, I was sent here to kill you, because you're the only one who can reverse it. And so, like, they have a fight, and if this were like a modern movie, it'd be like this huge fight, so they get like a grand struggle. But like, he like jumps at him, and then like it cuts away, and he's just dead. It's like, well, okay.
You could, at the very least, they ended the scene with, like, Atreyu just on the ground with, like, his stone knife that he has to pick up because he wasn't allowed to have weapons. Just, like, on the ground with the wolf on top of him, and then he has to, like, push the wolf off.
Yeah, but it was like, there could have been a fight scene here. And it could really be a fight scene.
It could have, but nah.
So he kills the wolf, and then, like, his dragon friend picks him up again, and then the entire planet just collapses into, like, space rocks. So they're flying through space. And they're just like meteors of just pieces of Fantasia, and it's like, well, the world's been destroyed. We're fucked. Yep. But the ivory tower is still floating around on like a meteor. So he flies up to the ivory tower, and then he meets with the Empress. And
then the child.
Yeah, the child. It's called the childlike Empress.
I hate it
because she's actually not a child. She just is played by a child as an actress and looks like a child. But in terms of the story, it's supposed to be an adult. Yeah. I don't know why they did that, but fuck it, it's a fantasy movie. You know what? That explains so much of this. Just fuck it, it's fantasy.
Yeah. Listen, it does, because the whole fucking plot and dialogue are not based off of any sort of logic.
Yep.
There's just like, yes, events happen, and then things lead up, kinda.
And while we were watching this, I was pointing it to Naomi, like, listen, a bunch of video games and took stuff from this, because this movie had incredible design, just not a very good story. So, when you see the way that Falkor flies, he's like going up and down. He's kind of like wobbly. That's how the furry dragon in Secret of Mana flies, and they very clearly based that when they were making that game off of Falkor. Since Japanese RPGs have no problem doing that, they take like Western stuff all the time. And also the final scene between Atreyu and the Empress. I was like, Naomi, you know that they took this. Assassin's Creed 2 took this scene. And you're like, oh!
They did!
Yeah. So there's a scene in Assassin's Creed 2.
At the very end.
Yeah. Where Ezio meets yeah, spoilers. Ezio meets with one of the ancient ones. One of the ancient ones who existed before humans.
Yep.
And the ancient one is like leaving a message and is talking not to Ezio but to Desmond, who's reliving his memories.
Yep.
And the message is intended for Desmond. And like every time Ezio tries to talk to her, she's just like, shut up. I'm not here to talk to you. You are literally here just so that Desmond can see your memories in the future and learn what I have to say. It's not about you, all right? And it's the exact same scene as in this movie, because the childlike Empress is talking to Bastian, the kid, not Atreyu, the warrior, who's in the room with her.
Also, to whoever... we literally just watched it, and I don't remember. But to anyone who's seen this movie or has decided to rewatch it again, you guys gotta let us know in the comments if they said his name at all at the beginning of the movie, because I don't remember them saying it at all at the beginning of the movie. I think we only learned his name at, like, the end in the movie.
Yeah, I think I might have said it once or twice, but, like...
I don't remember.
Yeah. The Empress shouted it like 10 times.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, that's his name.
Good to know.
But yeah, like...
Do you think that I am right? And then the directors just realized it, and then instead of reshooting, they just said the name a whole bunch of times and people
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So basically, the Empress is talking to Bastian through Atreyu and saying, listen, you need to name me, or else my world will fall apart. And, like, the kid is this is now the middle of the night. There's like a giant storm raging, and like there's like tree branches flying in through the windows in the school, and like the school's attic. And he's he's bundled up with the candles, like he's like reading this book intently, and he's reading it, and clearly the pages are talking to him, and he's like, this is ridiculous. Like, what am I supposed to fucking do here? And she's like, listen, if you don't like. Yes, because it cuts back and forth between them, because the Empress is saying to Atreyu, if you don't name me, we're all going to die, as like the palace is collapsing around her. And then the kid is like looking at the book and is like, if you don't name me, we're going to die. And he's just like, okay.
It can't be me. I can't be the one to name you. I have to keep my feet on the ground.
Oh yeah, that was fucking hilarious. Because earlier in the movie, the dad is like, stop your daydreaming. Keep your feet on the ground. Fucking daydreaming Davy over here.
And it's just like, if it really doesn't matter, just say it for funsies.
Yeah.
Just say it for funsies.
Say it for funsies. So like there's this dramatic scene where he goes onto the roof and he just like, and like the wind is like howling and it's like raining, and this 7-year-old kid like shouts the name of his mother who died. That's gonna be your new name, Empress. But he shouts it so like strange we didn't hear what it was.
We don't know what the name. I know it started with an M, and that's all I heard.
Miriam. Wait, is it in the wiki?
Probably.
Let's see.
It's gonna take me a minute to find it though, because I don't.
Let's see, dude. Let's see.
Plot. It's probably under plot.
At the very bottom?
Skip to the end of the plot. That's the sand.
Oh no, he says Moonchild.
What? I thought he literally. What?
Yeah, he said he was gonna call it his mom's name. Was his mom? Wait. His mom was probably a hippie.
Oh, that's why you gotta keep your feet on the ground and not daydream like the fucking hippie who died.
Oh my god.
God. Okay, cool. I guess that's why he said it so strangely then, because it was two words.
It wasn't a fucking name. Okay. And so then at this point Atreyu kind of disappears, and it's Bastion and the Empress, and they're in this like dark void. And she's holding one grain of sand. She's like, this is all that remains of Fantasia. And then Bastion's like, well, shit, dude. He's like, and then she's like, don't worry about it, because as long as you keep remembering and as long as you keep like wishing and imagining, my world will come back. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. So he starts like making wishes.
So he does.
and the entire world of Fantasia comes back. And he's flying around in Fantasia on the back of Falkor. And then he's like, I have another wish. And then they go to the real world. So he's flying through New York on the back of Falkor, and he terrorizes his fucking bullies.
That part was really funny, though.
And that's where the movie ends. And I was just like...
This movie doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it doesn't, but it's a lot of fun.
It was. I don't regret seeing this movie.
Neither do I.
But, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But you told me that this is an actual book.
I think it is. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it is. Well, check out the wiki. You have it. You have it open, man.
Okay, yes. So very entertaining. Let me just stare at wiki.
I'll entertain you guys
to just find things.
Okay. The running story. Wait, how many movies are there? First of all, yeah, the 1979 novel. Yeah. Okay. Keep going. How many movies are there? Surely there's like a list of sequels. Because I think the second one is a full-on isekai where he goes to the other world like for the whole thing. A possible remake? Oh my god, click on that. Possible, how are they going to ruin it? 2009, 2022, 2024. Oh yeah, they're making more movies. Oh no. They're going to destroy him, guys.
Depending on the... You know what? No, I don't think they're going to be able to capture the majesty of that fucking design, that set design.
They'll just do a chase CG.
Yeah, no, they can't, because it was gorgeous. I loved all of the designs so much. All of the costume designs, all the freaky ass creature designs.
Oh.
I loved it. What?
The first movie only adapts the first half of the novel. No wonder it felt so weird.
No wonder it didn't make any fucking sense. So that means we have to see the second one now.
Let's see, here we go.
What? Spoilers.
Yeah, the first film adapted the first half of the original novel. The second half of the novel is used for the second film, Neverending Story 2. Neverending Story 3 has an original plot. Okay. So the next chapter. What happens in the next chapter? I'm going to spoil myself a little bit here. I assume he just go. I don't fucking care.
Spoilers.
Yeah, he actually goes to Fantasia, which is what. That's what I. Maybe I saw the second one as a kid.
You probably saw the second one.
Yeah. Okay.
I only remember the fuzzy dragon.
Okay. Well. Yeah.
It's mine now.
So yeah, it was fun to see it in theater. Oh, we should have. Okay, no, there's another story here. Okay, so we went in to go get our tickets, right? Because we saw the late showing, because we usually like to do these at night.
What time is it right now?
I think it's
11:12.
11:12, yeah.
So the 9 o'clock show.
Yeah, so when you don't have to go to work the next day, we'll come here on the latest showing possible, because it's quiet. It's Tuesdays. It's the cheap day, cheap seats. and we can like kind of shoot these here in the parking lot with relative privacy. No one's like showing up or anything. And actually, it is pretty empty right now.
That's because everyone left.
Everyone's left at this point. Yeah.
We've been talking here for so long.
Not that long. Dude, we've done some of these, they're going for like an hour.
Yeah, that's okay.
This is not that long.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go there and we're like, let's we were looking at the movies yesterday. Is there anything we want to see? And it's like, do you want to see Despicable Me? It's like,
not in the theaters.
No. So it's like, oh, why is Never Ending Story playing? We could see that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so we decided to go see that. And showing at 9 o'clock, we show up. We go to the like automated ticket thingy.
Now I must also say that we generally show up like almost like right at the time that the movie's supposed to start. Like I think we show up maybe not even 5 minutes to 9 sometimes.
Usually we walk in when like the final trailer is playing or something. Like it's quite close to the end.
Yeah.
So we're getting the tickets, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at that. No one's seeing this movie.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Not a single person seeing this movie.
I don't know. A Cineplex is pretty. Is that Canadian? I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
Cineplex is Canadian only, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, at our Canadian theater, you can choose your assigned seating.
It's pretty normal in American ones as well. So.
I don't fucking know. Sometimes America's ass backwards about things. I don't fucking know. Well, listen, debit machines.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen. So you can pick your own seats, and there was no one else in the theater. That's how we knew, because you can pick your own seats.
Yeah, because you look at it, it's like, oh, not a single person has bought a ticket for this. It's like, okay. So we get our ticket, we go up to the guy, and the guy looks at the ticket, and he's like, oh, give me a second. And then he like runs away.
I felt really bad too, because it was like the furthest theater from the tickets.
Because there's like, I think American theaters are the same. There's like 12. You walk in, there's 6 theaters on one side, 6 theaters on the other side. You go down, 12 theaters. He's like, oh shit, dude. So he like runs away. And we're just like, okay. So we wait like 2 minutes. And then like
another guy shows
up. And he's like, oh, I'll take your tickets. And I'm like, well, that guy just went to go do something. And he's like, oh, I gotta talk to him anyway. And like it sounded like he was gonna discipline him.
Yeah, no, it sounded like a tune. I was like, okay.
Did something happen? So he takes our tickets. And then we go down all the way down the hallway to the theater. And the guy comes out.
Yeah, pretty much as we reach the doors.
And he's surprised. He's like, oh. And I'm like, no, it's like he's like, oh, okay. So we go in. So I think he's gonna get in trouble for something, or he did get in trouble for something. But we get in there, and even though it's time for the movie to start, all the pre-show stuff was still going on, and we look around and there's like no one.
There's
nobody in this fucking theater, dude. Look. We have to get on with things, right? Look, there's no one here. The whole place is empty. It's just us. It's just us, Naomi. Wow. It's not like someone showed up like halfway through or something. It's like sometimes
most other times there have been at least one other person with us in the theater with the late showings.
Yeah. This time there was just no one.
Nope.
And so we sit down and then we're like, look at the time. It's like this movie's starting like 20 minutes later, so like 15 minutes. Like what's going on? And then I kind of realized, like, we were talking, we can talk during the movie because no one's fucking in there.
Yeah.
So I realized, I was like, dude, because I know Metal Commander, I was on his channel a few times. He said stuff like, well, usually if people can come into a movie late, right? So they will play a movie. However, if it gets to like the halfway point and like you can't buy a ticket for it anymore and there's no one in the theater, they'll just shut it down, right? They don't like waste the energy. So I was like, okay, I mean, that actually makes sense, yeah. So we get in, and we're late, and the movie is also late. And I'm like, okay, I think they didn't start this movie up because no one had bought tickets for it. And also, it's not like it's a new release, so who gives a fuck, right? And so that guy had to go run and turn everything on.
I think that's exactly what happened too.
Yeah, and no, go ahead.
No, go. I was just gonna repeat a point you already said, so it doesn't matter.
Go ahead.
I'm good.
Okay, fine.
I'm good.
Fine. Well, the reason that I thought that is also because usually at like the half-hour mark of any movie, if you pay attention, I think it happens in most theaters. A member of the staff will come in, like just kind of come in quietly through the side door, and then like go to a checklist. And like look around, check certain things off. I assume it's like, is there a fight happening? Are the lights turned off? Is the movie properly playing? Like they'll do a quick checklist at about the halfway point of every movie, and then they'll just kind of like, okay, things are going good. Well, I'll leave. Right? That didn't happen.
No.
All right. And also, when the movie finished, the lights didn't come back on.
No.
We were just sitting there in the dark. It's like, oh, okay, movie's over, but like...
Well, I mean, we didn't just like sit there in the dark. Then the credits started playing. I think we waited like an extra 30 seconds to see if the lights would turn back on.
And they did not.
And they didn't, so we just left.
Yep. No one came to like open the doors to the theater. No one brought in like a garbage can to like throw things out.
Yep.
And when we came out, there was 2 other workers out there who were like surprised.
Yeah, to see us in there.
Yeah, and
It was really funny.
yeah. I was like, oh, you guys forgot we were in there.
Yep.
Oh, what a good time.
That's the way it is with like modern theaters now, because you don't have to have a guy up there like with a fucking reels and shit.
Yeah.
They just fucking press play and leave.
Fuck. That was a good time, though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I always enjoy theater shenanigans whenever, like, something goes wrong. It's always fun. Or like something strange happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the Neverending Story.
Yeah. I don't understand why it's so beloved, but, like...
You know, I get it. No, I get it. It's the jankiness factor, right? It's the same reason why people like David Lynch, Twin Peaks. It's the same reason why people like...
people like Twin Peaks Season 1 because Twin Peaks Season 1 was good.
People also like games like Deadly Premonition or Earthbound.
Only you like Deadly Premonition.
These are janky games that are beloved because they're very strange and flawed and not that good, but they have a lot of soul.
Just like you.
Fuck you.